Okay, I think we're live. People can hear me. Let's get the music going. And I've already told, I'm going to tell the Discord crew I'm online. There we go. Okay. They know. Hopefully they'll join us. Let me just rearrange my desk a little bit here to make things more convenient. Move my... Hi, Saul. You're on the East Coast? Glad you could join us. So for people who don't know, in chat, it's Saul I'm talking to, but his username is 2112st. So if there's confusion about who I'm talking to, that's who Saul is. Hi, Pleasant. Good to see you. Good to see you. Well, what do we have planned? Well, actually, let's just do a little recap, and then we'll talk about what's planned. Last night, I published a short video. Now, you see my face all the time on the streams. Let's see, we got, good night from Vietnam. Oh, thanks for joining us. Did I tell you my I forgot where I saw this clip. It's Vietnam related. So there's a clip and someone's asking people, what country is this city, what was it? What country is the city in, right? So if someone says Chicago, you say United States, okay? So someone said, okay, what country is Vienna in? And someone answered Vietnam. And of course the answer is Austria, but someone said Vietnam. And I thought, of course that was I got a little bit of a laugh out of that. Hey, look, my geography isn't perfect either, okay? But then as I thought about it, I said, you know what? I could see, it's wrong, but there's a logic to it. There is a logic to Vienna being in Vietnam, right? Start with V, Vienna, Vietnam. Okay, so anyway, that was my little joke. But good to have you. We have a very international audience here, by the way. A very international audience. On the Discord, we have tons of people from, I know Koyo, I think, is from Vietnam. A couple of others, I think, in Indonesia. So it's just fun. We have a good international audience. We're well represented in every continent, I believe. Every continent. James Chasing Sunrises, Pluzzing. Who else we have here? Mad Max is here. Anyway, that was my little joke. Anyway, last night I made a stream on tilt compensation, and what I was saying was, Pluzzing, it does make sense, doesn't it? It totally makes sense. Like, it's like, here's another example, which is, you don't understand why people would make the mistake. We have capital cities within states, right? So New York State, its capital city is what city? Newark. Everyone would, of course, expect it to be New York, but it's not. It's actually, no, it's not. It's Albany. Sorry, I got mixed up. It's not Newark is in New Jersey. Albany is New York. So for people who are in New Jersey, I apologize. People in New York, I apologize. I know they don't like when I get mixed up the states. But you see, I made the mistake. I knew it was in New York, but then my mind leaped to the very first word that began with Newark. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, that must be it, right? It's easy to make mistakes like this. So let's be a little understanding. Okay. Last night I did a video on tilt compensation. It was only a 6-minute video, but I want to talk a little bit about it. It's one of the few times that I have made a video where I am just talking like to the camera. Normally I create everything in PowerPoint slides and you hear my voice. And the reason I do that is because I want to just make sure things are perfect. And sometimes my videos require a lot of research. And when you're doing, you're learning at the same time you're making the video. Trust me, a lot of my, especially when they're more technical, I am learning as I'm doing the video. Like I might have 80% of the knowledge, but like there's still some pieces I need to answer. I get feedback from people. So it's easier for me to construct content, slides, and then talk to it. And to talk to it, I don't go on camera because, you know, you have to dress up a little bit, you have to shave, you have to do all sorts of things. The net result for me is psychologically, it takes me a month or more to do maybe 2 months to do a major video. And if you see one of those videos, I record it probably like the full script. I say it out like 8 or 10 times. Sometimes I've gone as many as 15 times. And the videos all start out huge. They are like 45 minutes. And then I condense them down to 20 minutes by like, should I really say that? Anyway, I wanted to try a little more impromptu ways of talking about things. So last night I literally just recorded myself on camera. I am looking at a teleprompter, but there was no script. I just said things out loud as they came to my mind. And I think the video came out okay. But I want to do more of that. First of all, it's good practice for public speaking. Number two, maybe this weighed on my mind a little bit. YouTube seems to be cracking down on content that they believe is... what I'm hearing from some people is that when something is just... they see there's only the voice, but there's no like video view. It's being treated as if it's AI content. And most of my videos are like that, right? They're actually just slides. So anyway, I decided to try that. I'm going to be doing more of myself on camera. Also, now that my health is a bit better, because I lost a little bit of weight, I'm more comfortable being on camera more of the time. I mean, I've always been streaming with my face, but yeah, maybe I'm just feeling good about myself. I sometimes mistake the cities of my country because they had some. Yeah, it makes sense. It totally makes sense. Anyway, expect more of that from me. Expect a little more. How can I say this? There's so many times in the middle of the day, someone asks a great question on Reddit or on the Discord. I'm like, you know what? I could talk for 5 minutes about this topic. And because it would be... Let me back up for a second. Sometimes I want to prepare great content. But I realize also the more you prepare, the slower you are, right? Remember, it takes me sometimes 2 months to make a video. And that's holding me back because it might be better for me to get something out there with what I know and get feedback from you and get other people reacting to it. I don't mean literally making react videos, more like just putting it out there so people are giving feedback and then talk about it another time. That might actually be better for people than waiting a long time for something, right? They always say the perfect is the enemy of the good. And that's something I've always struggled with, which is you want to do things right, but that's going to slow things down. So where's the balance? Probably on the YouTube videos, the pre-recorded ones. I tend toward playing it a little more safe, a little more controlled. So I'm going to try to dial that back a bit and be a little more spontaneous. And remember, I enjoy being on camera. The only reason I don't do it is, again, you have to get set up for it. Like you have to turn on the lighting and you have to, clean up and shave. But that's okay. I've kind of got that all down now. Okay, let's just take a look at the chat. So, today's stream was prompted by a question in the Discord. The Drawing Tablet Discord has here, I'll just put the link in chat in case people don't know. Please join the Discord. Someone posted a question, which I'm going to bring up here. You won't be able to see it, so hang on a moment. Where's the help forum? The question was posted, I think this morning at 4:30 in the morning by Corix. I'm just going to read it out loud for you. I've been looking for a screen drawing tablet and would appreciate some recommendations. And this person says, I've been looking at the X-Pen Artist 13 Pro V2, but unfortunately I can't get it shipped to Norway. I've also considered the Artist 12 Pro, but I'm concerned about the cable connection compatibility with my Samsung Galaxy Chromebook Go. My budget is $200 to $300. That's, okay. That's a decent budget. I mean, you can find a 13-inch screen tablet pen display for that price. He said he has some preferences: 13 inches or larger, laminated screen, good stylus, some shortcut buttons, USB-C would be nice but not required, must work with Chrome OS, and must be able to buy ship to Norway. And I didn't reply then, but this morning there was a little bit of traction on it. I have a document about Chromebooks, so I'll show you in a second. And what I realized is there's a couple of things going on. Number one, I do have a Chromebook. We're going to demo that. But last time I evaluated multiple drawing tablets with a Chromebook. My feedback was pretty simple. I don't recommend them. Actually, let me be clear on this. I love Chromebooks. I love my Chromebook. When I use it, I use it. It's really, there's lots of advantages, but I'm going to talk about just Chromebooks in general, okay? Using a drawing tablet with a Chromebook is challenging. I'm not saying it doesn't work. I'm also not saying it does work. It's in an ambiguous state, okay? I would say, let's see if we can triangulate my statement a little bit better. It absolutely does not give you every feature you will get when you plug a drawing tablet into a normal computer. Guaranteed, and we'll show you the things you're missing, okay? Part of that is just due to the way Chromebooks work. The core issue is you cannot install drivers, and drivers are how a tablet brand customizes the experience and gives you features you need for the drawing tablets. And it's not their fault. They can't install drivers on these devices. Let's see, Pleasing says, I still don't have the will to show my face. Well, I hope one day you do. I think people are going to need to. And let me just put that, let me hang on to that thought for just a minute. Because Pleasing, I want to get back to the importance of showing your face. Because this is another thing that is, I think, going to happen. Let's see, Pleasing says, I usually heard a horror story about Chromebooks, especially on the education sides. Yeah, I have never been a believer in buying devices for schools, like Chromebook, whatever. Just name the device, iPads. I don't think schools should buy them. Because I'm just going to read it to you very clearly. To me, they just represent a lot of cost and minimal benefit for school. School would be, it's not that they're useless, it's not that they're bad. You'd be better off spending your time and energy doing something else with that same amount of money, okay? Okay, let me address, so Pleasing had this comment, I don't have the will to show my face. Let me just give everyone a brief aside about why it's important to show your face. It's going to be more important, okay? This is just an idle thought I've had in the past month or so. I don't think it's a unique idea, but I wanted to share my perspective. Because some of you are very young, and even though for those of you who are not very young, I have a certain background which I think might give you a little bit of extra context. I mention this all the time. I worked for Microsoft for 28 years. It was my first and only job. I'm very proud of that. And we will talk a lot about Microsoft in this stream, by the way. It used to be that it's a pretty important skill to be able to write. It's a pretty important skill to be able to create PowerPoint slides, okay? Some people are actually just not good at it. They just don't know how to create a slide. And they don't know how to communicate, and they don't know how to create, and they create ugly slides. And guess what? That matters, okay? It matters. When people see, I'm being quite serious, if you present in front of, the CEO of somebody, a company that's visiting, and they see that the slides you have are misaligned, they have the wrong font, they aren't branded correctly, it's messy. And on top of that, maybe even the way you're organizing the information isn't good. That's another level of problem. You get judged for that. Think about it this way. You've got a very important meeting with a client, a customer that pays you millions of dollars every year. It could be tens of millions of dollars. and you show up there with a slide deck which is improperly formatted, inconsistent, and isn't even, it's messy. What conclusion do you think they could fairly derive from what you show them? Let me tell you, I'm not saying everyone thinks this way, but this is the thing you have to be prepared for. They will look at your content and they'll say, this guy, he's talking to us about something quite serious. He's a professional. This guy being, in my case, you can pretend it's me. And this guy can't manage his own slide deck. That's his deck. He owns everything he's showing to us, and he can't even get the same font on the right side of the slide from the left side. Like, if he's this sloppy in something that we take so seriously, I wonder what else he's sloppy about. I wonder maybe if his team is sloppy about things. Maybe, do they even notice how weird and unprofessional it looks? So that's just to tell you, like, how things appear, how they're structured matters. And I just gave you the tip of the iceberg on the things that matter, okay? Okay, we got a bunch of W's coming from somebody. Block and chill I6. You got to stop with the W's, man. Okay, so I know, very strange, isn't it, Pleasant? So what has happened then, and this is all to talk about putting your face out there. This is where we're going. But right now, we're getting there by talking about PowerPoint slides and just what you write. So it was considered a great skill in Microsoft and presumably other places that you could put together content that was not only attractive, but just written well. And I just don't mean how you use English. I'm just talking about how you framed and laid out the problem, the goals, and the solution. That was a skill. And not everyone has it, let me assure you. And I do believe I was very good at that. But AI presents a new challenge for us, okay? Because things can be created that look exactly like a well thought out, polished, it certainly looked polished, it might even look well thought out. And yeah, let me know if that guy keeps on posting W's, I'll ban them. So now we're inundated with decks that look great, and it's not that they're necessarily just bad. It's hard to tell if they're good or bad because you have to really examine what they're saying, and then really have to talk to someone. The only way, if you give you two different slide decks, and I can just tell you, one is from someone who knows what they're talking about, and one is from someone who doesn't know what they're talking about, and they both look good, okay? Because this one guy here, he built the slides. He's like an expert in his field. He just took a lot of care. And the other person knows next to nothing, like they know 10%, but they used AI to make a pretty slide deck, and it's kind of gotten data from the real world. So this one, visually you can't tell them apart in some sense. They're both looking high quality. How do you tell them apart? You tell them apart by talking to the people who created them. Okay? You don't listen to some voice recording. You talk to them. Because if they really know what they're talking about, then the skill that they exhibit in creating the slide deck will come through in the way they talk to you. Okay? And this goes back to Pleasant's point about showing your face. I think it's going to become more important than ever for you to be real on the internet and show your face. I know some people are very uncomfortable with that. I think it is a disadvantage if you, for whatever reason, don't want to or are unable to do it. I do believe that's a disadvantage. But this is, I believe, an increasingly real thing. You cannot trust slide decks you see, or even videos that you see anymore. And I don't mean whether they're fake or not. I mean, is the quality of the thinking good? You're going to have to talk to people. Now, AI cannot give you a video that talks like me, okay? Or like anybody, because of the way we pause and speak, our idiosyncratic ways of communicating. Maybe one day they will do that. So I think that's why I did want to show my face a bit more, right? Anyway, Yeah, I think it's important. I think being visible is going to take a much more prominent role if you want to get a job, if you want to succeed. Okay, I'm sure there are many cases where that statement's going to be wrong, but I believe it's going to increase in value. Okay, let me get back to where we were. We were talking about Pleasant because he said that comment, and that was because I made a video last night. I talked about why I was doing it. Okay, so let's get back to the Discord thing. So this person's looking for a Chrome OS, a tablet that works well with Chrome OS. And what I said was, it's not that they work badly, or it's not that they work great. They just don't work the way you'd expect them to. They're missing a lot of features because of the driver issue. I'd like to try being a PNG tuber and a VTuber. I would like to try, just an experiment, right? Just, to be fun. Sometimes you want to get on camera and show gestures, like have some emotion, but like, I'm unshaven or something, and like, I'm in a old ratty t-shirt. That you may notice I'm always wearing the same thing now, almost on streams, and that's because it's just easier to always have one thing I'm going to wear than have multiple things. So this specific shirt that I wear, and maybe I change the t-shirt, but basically this is my uniform now for streaming. It keeps a lot of choices simple for me. Okay, so let's show you the document where I have, let's see if I can find it. This is gonna be a little bit of a challenge. Okay, give me a second, I gotta figure out how to do this. How should I do this? Okay, I think I know. I think I'm going to have to... Okay, I'm gonna sneeze. Okay, not a problem, not a problem. I'm gonna find my laptop here. I'm not gonna use my Chromebook because it does not have I'm looking again. It does not have an HDMI port. But we're gonna take a look at a document. Give me a second, let's bring the document. Let me just log in. Oops, the wrong one. It's the wrong laptop. Okay, give me a second. I'll be right back. I'll get the correct laptop. Okay, I'm here. Okay, oh, I see the original person who's joining us is going to try to join. And let me just tell them that in fact, I am live right now. I think I can do that from this computer, actually. Now I've got, hey, listen, you're going to love this. I have now, how many computers do I have in front of me? The Mac I'm streaming from, an iPad, a Chromebook, and now this Windows laptop. So I've got 4 different computers. 5 actually, because there's one that's turned off that's sitting on my desk. That's what it's like in my little stream thing here. Okay, let's see if I can get to Discord here. Discord. And let me tell them I am online. And then I'll start using this to show you my... where's the help forum? Yeah, let me paste it for them. Let's see. So Saul, you're good? You're welcome, by the way, but it's all working for you, I think, now? Let's get... Okay, that person should be good. Now, let's plug in an HDMI cable, and I'm going to show you. There's so many things on my desk. It gets confusing. I'm going to show you a document. We're going to walk through it. Just give me a moment. Don't switch. Okay, so let's get here. Go to Gitbook. And I have a document on ChromeBooks. Let's get there. While I'm at it, let's see if I can get my... Nope, that's not quite what I wanted. There we go. Here we go. Okay. So let's get to Chrome OS. Saul says, I think Huion is in the middle of a summer sale. Is it? Okay, I'll have to double check that. Okay, so first we'll go through the doc, and I just want to, that way you'll know where we're beginning here. So just to be clear, again, I just don't normally recommend using ChromeBooks with a drawing tablet. We're going to see today if my opinion has changed. I don't think it has, but this is where we're starting. Oh, Kauga has joined us. Hey, good to see you, and thanks for joining the stream. So the very first question is it compatible? And I would say, well, you cannot assume that a Chromebook will be compatible. You're going to have to verify, right? And it's not just the question you have to answer is not, are Chromebooks compatible with drawing tablets? And the answer is unknown. There is no one, there's not one answer to that question other than it depends. And you really, it's not even do Chromebooks work with this specific drawing tablet? That is also, it depends. You have to get very specific. You have to say, does this specific Chromebook device work with this specific tablet model, with this specific Chrome OS version, and with these specific apps? Okay? This is very similar to what I found with Android and drawing tablets. The question of does Android work with a drawing tablet is, it depends. And you got to know the both kinds of specific devices, which operating system version, and which apps. Okay? So the only thing you can really do is to find somebody that has that exact combination that you were considering and ask them, does it work well? Okay? So that's the first real difficult issue when we talk about working with these Google operating systems like Chrome OS and Android. Could Google make this better? Yeah. And will they? Probably not. You're going to see why. And we'll speculate as to some of the reasoning why that's the case. Okay, next thing, drivers. This is the fundamental issue. The way drawing tablets work with the Mac OS or a Windows computer is largely driven through the manufacturer drivers or open tablet drive. The drivers just make the device work, number one. Number two, they add a bunch of features that you really need. Guess what you cannot install on Android and Chrome OS? Drivers. You just cannot do it. Even if there just isn't, and it's not that you can't install apps. I'm sure in some of these cases you can, but you, by and large, you just can't install drivers because the drivers have very, how can I say it in a non-technical way? Drivers can cause instability, and they're very powerful. So you really don't want to install drivers. So that's why Chrome OS and Android don't let you do that. Let's see, Twisted Apex. Wacom ones work even on my old Samsung Chromebook Plus V2 from 2019 still today. Wacoms work well with Chromebook apps that rely on touch, especially are tricky. CSP and Krita work well though. Okay, interesting. So for a couple of great things there, let me actually highlight this comment. Wacom One. I think you're talking about the DTC 133, or if could you tell us which exact models? Because there are 5 different Wacom One models, and he's also named a specific Chromebook. And CSP and Krita work well though. Okay, well we'll try that out, right? Now, what was I saying? Yeah, drivers. So manufacturers don't they don't let you install drivers. They do have built-in drivers, but the built-in drivers and the built-in features don't get you all the features you're used to with a normal drawing tablet. Kauga, I did that one time. I actually, I had a stream on Linux, and I tried, I think, Linux Mint. I think it was Mint. I don't think I got very far in that stream. I can't actually recall. Okay, Wacom One, see, Twisted Apex says, Wacom One, 14, 13, 12. Okay, they all work well. Good, we'll try them out. I've got them, so I've got all 3 of them, so we can try one of them out. The other thing I found in my last time I tested, which we'll test again, is that your tablet can have buttons and dials, and Chrome OS, the version you have, may or may not support setting the buttons or the dials. Okay, and if it does support setting the buttons and dials, it may not give you all the abilities you are used to. Okay, like mapping them to do certain things. Here's another thing: with what's built into Chrome OS, you can't say this button does this with this app and this button does this with this app. Maybe that's changed, but I could not find a way to do it. Pen tablets have a unique problem with Chrome OS because they'll often get distorted strokes. If you had a driver, you could correct that by turning on a feature called force proportions, but guess what? There's no driver, and what I have found is basically sometimes, depending on the specific combination of device and Chrome OS and tablet, it'll work, and sometimes they won't. So I did have some testing results for Chrome OS, and let me just show you what those were, right? So I tested this was a test back in, I don't know, but it was with this version of Chrome OS. But here's what I found generally to be true. With several pen tablets, there was no pressure curves, no force proportions. Wacom One M, nothing worked. I couldn't get it to work at all. Intuos Pro Large, PTK 870, things worked actually. It actually worked. Now you didn't get every feature, but the tablet worked sort of in the basic way. Intuos Pro Medium from 2017. Sometimes the pointer is not visible, and sometimes sometimes the pointer. Actually, I don't know if I wrote this down correctly, but sometimes the pointer is visible when you don't want it, and sometimes the pointer is visible. Isn't visible when you do want it. So we'll double check. But yeah, overall it worked, except there was some weird issue with the pointer. Pen displays, Artist Pro 16 Gen 2 worked. Okay, but there's no pointer visible when using the pen. Okay, yeah, it's no pointers visible, meaning you don't know where you're pointing, which is difficult. Sometimes you want the pointer or a brush indicator. Wacom Moving 13, touch and pen just didn't work. I bet you didn't expect that. Huion Canvas Pro 16. Well, the pointer issue's there. So it looks like the pointer issue is just a general thing. But pressure didn't work, tilt didn't work, lower buttons on the pen doesn't work. The device wasn't even recognized as a pen display, right? So I was having a lot of problems. Maybe some people got to work better. I didn't find that. XP Pen Artist 13 Gen 2. The display works, same pointer problem, pressure didn't work, tilt didn't work, lower button doesn't work. So it's a mess. Wacom in general works better, but lots of devices didn't work well. Okay? Now don't get me wrong, let's be honest with you. I don't know where the blame for all these issues lies. I don't know if it's Google or the drawing tablet brand. the fact that the Wacom devices works is inconclusive. We don't know if that's because of something Wacom did or Google did specific for Wacom. We just don't know. But the facts are the facts. The Wacom devices generally work better. But no matter what, none of these cases will give you the full features you want in a drawing tablet. Okay, now let's try it out. Okay, let me close. This is gonna be a little tricky because I've got a Chromebook, but I need to get a HDMI cable. Okay, give me a second. I think I'm gonna get a dongle, and we're going to try it out. I just want to be able to project a screen to you, so just give me 1 minute. I'll be back in a minute. Okay, I'm back. I got a little USB-C to HDMI connection. We're going to see that it makes it a little bit easier to connect this Chromebook. Give me a second. First thing is making sure the Chromebook doesn't freak out. So I can connect the HDMI cable. Okay, let's see if this works. Might work. It might work. It did not work. Oh no, it did work. Okay, great, great. So what you're seeing is actually my Chromebook. By the way, my Chromebook now has 4 displays mapped to it. It has its own display. There's another there's like 1 pen display and 2 monitors. So there's a lot going on here. Okay. Now, what is this Chromebook? This is give me a second. I'm gonna rearrange the desk again. Okay, let's go. Is it this I want? Yeah, this is what I want. Okay. Oops, what happened? My muting of the sound effects. There we go. Okay, let's see if I can move this over here. Oops. You don't need my face that big, do you? I don't think so. I'll put my face over here. Okay, so this is, I just want to show you that my desk set up so you understand what's going on here. There's just a lot going on. So, what I have here is an HP Dragonfly Pro Chromebook. It's got 4 USB-C ports. I think all 4 USB-C ports support our Thunderbolt, which is amazing, and I love that. Sorry the light's so bright. But this is that's what I'm using, a Dragonfly Chromebook. And we're just gonna try things out. We're gonna see how well all of this works, okay? And now you're seeing one of the screens. and I have a Huion Canvas GS1. It does look a lot like Linux. And I have to tell you, actually, let me take a little pause here. I'm going to talk about Chromebooks. I like this Chromebook a lot. I'm really looking forward to this new Google Book thing. If Google could just figure out how to make the tablets work, we'd be in a great place. And if we could figure out some way to get an application to give us some of the features we have in tablets that are missing, that'd be great. Maybe we don't need it to work exactly like it works on Windows or Mac OS, but if Google's paying attention, they can just make this work. And they should, because it's really frustrating for me when I see lots of parents or people who are they're in school and the school gives them Chromebooks and, they just can't use a drawing tablet with it. It's really irritating, right? Imagine, some school has standardized on this Chromebook, you can't use your drawing tablet with it. Even though it'd be totally safe to do so, because you're not installing drivers, right? Just, it doesn't work well enough. It's really frustrating. Okay, let's try our first case here, which is this, and I'm gonna zoom in, and we'll see how this works. And in fact, let me duplicate the displays here. I think that's going to work out better for me. Oops, hang on. How do I get displays going? Okay. Oh, these are. Let me just rearrange these things like that. HDMI matrix, canvas. Yeah, let me so you know how rare it is to get a laptop that can support this many displays? It's kind of amazing. Most struggle with more than one attached. Okay, I want the canvas. This to can I mirror things? Can I mirror things? I guess I can't. I can't arbitrarily cause two displays to mirror each other. So that's kind of sad, because that would be helpful in this demo. That's okay. That's okay. We're going to show you the first problem with the drawing tablet. This is a Huion Canvas 13 Gen 3. Okay, ready? So remember, there's no driver installed because I can't have a driver. And I'm going to take the pen and start. What do you see? Nothing. Okay? Does the computer know it's there? Yeah, it does. Is it moving the pointer? It sure is. Where's the pointer? Well, here we go. Hang on. You might have trouble seeing it, but you'll understand very quickly what the heck is going on here. Okay, take a look at the monitor on the upper left. You see the pointer? Also notice what's happening. I'm going to draw something like a circle on the display. Oops. I'm going to have to draw a smaller circle here. Do you see a circle on the monitor? You don't. You see an oval. That's distortion. So what do we do here? Because this is not working well, right? And this is a very typical problem. This is a recent tablet that I like, but you see what happens on Chromebook. And this is the latest update for this. This is the latest Chrome OS also. And look at this problem. Is it Huion's fault? Is it? I don't know. Is it Google's fault? I don't know. I think it's a combination, probably. But this is a problem. Now, I think probably Huion could fix it. We'll try examples. But that's the first problem. Now, how can I get the pointer over here? From here to here. How does that happen? Well, watch this. I'm going to take my finger and go to the trackpad, which you probably cannot see well. Sorry, it's kind of blown out. I'm going to move the... let's see. Yeah, I moved it here. Do you see it? Okay. Now, so I moved it. Actually, let me show you. I moved it to the middle monitor. Okay? And this will help demonstrate the problem. Take the pen and do this. Look what happens. So basically, and this is not having the distortion anymore because these are two 16:9 displays. So, okay. It works fine, but it depends. You see what's happening? The pointer is going to where I last moved it with touch or mouse. What would you expect the pointer to do? You'd expect it to go to a pen display, right? Or you'd expect to be able to configure where it goes. So it doesn't do the right thing and you have no control over it. That's the problem. This is why now this is not a killer problem, but it's a real big irritation because imagine you're painting over here, okay? Sorry, I have to move the mouse here, okay? Yeah, okay. Imagine you're painting over here, okay? And then over here, you got to do something. So you go over here and you type in, I don't know, you got to change the date and time or something. So you type in something. And then you go back here, you start drawing. Oh, your mouse is now stuck over here. Do you see it? It's a real... at least it's doing that, Kawuga. At least it's doing that. But it's a mess. It's a real mess. Whoa. We got some mirrors. I turned on mirroring for some reason, and it just went crazy. Okay. So that's a Chromebook problem. Apparently, you can mirror your built-in display to all displays, but you can't you can't pairwise mirror. Oh, that's another problem. Pairwise mirroring is useful if you are drawing with apps, because sometimes you want to pair two of your monitors. I do that. Okay, so that's a Chrome OS limitation. That's the first problem, is how the mapping works. You saw it. So here's a note for Google. Hey Google, remember this. With Chrome OS and a pen display, you might see that the mapping, where the pointer goes, it depends on where you last touched or used the mouse. The second problem is the strokes can be distorted if your tablet does not match, your pen tablet does not match the aspect ratio of your monitor. So those are two problems with Chrome OS. Okay, now this is a Huion. We'll try a Wacom. Okay, now there are dials and buttons. Can we deal with these dials and buttons? I don't know. Right? We're gonna find that out in just a second. Let's see. I'm gonna just type. Oh yeah, let me do it this way. I'm gonna move this over here. Okay? And then I'm gonna show you the screen. Whoops, not that. This is a little complicated. I gotta figure out how to do this. Since I don't have the okay, I think I'm just gonna have to use the overhead for this one, I guess. Well, this is tricky. I need to show you what I'm doing on this monitor, on the pen display, but on this thing, but I can't. Without, I have to use the camera to show this. Let's see if I can try this another way. Give me a second. I gotta ponder how to explain this to you. I'm looking for the ability to show the tablet's buttons. Okay, I guess I don't need to show it to you on the tablet. Let's just go here. There we go. So this is, now you see what's actually on in Chrome OS, and we're gonna take a look. We just type in the word drawing tablet. You can't type in Huion, so it doesn't know. How about devices? I don't know. How do you configure your drawing tablet? Let's see. Is there anything that talks about these devices. Let's try devices. Or connected devices or something. Oh, here we go. Connected devices. Let's see if this does something. No, that's not what we want. Let's take a look at device here. What's it say? Mouse, touchpad, keyboard, pen tablet. Okay, so when you go to in the settings for ChromeBooks, you go to device, you'll get what? Why did it say pen tablet? I don't know. So it does recognize Huion. Notice what it says here. Huion tablet GS1333, which is correct, but it doesn't show the correct name of the tablet, which is Huion Canvas 13 Gen 3. This is the right model number, so I'm not really complaining about it so much. So you can configure the tablet buttons. How does that happen? Okay, let's try it out. Add or locate buttons on your tablet. Press a button on your tablet. Okay, I will. I'll press the top, not the dial. I'm going to press the top button. Oops, and it goes, oh, other button 1. Right? It knows something. It does know something, Kouga. And here's what you got. These are all the options ChromeBooks gives you. Right, default, what does default mean? Right click, middle click, left click, undo, redo, previous page, next page, zoom in, zoom out, screenshot, overview, create key combination, and disable. Well, let's go ahead and try screenshot and see what happens, okay? Like, which screen will it take a screenshot of? I really don't know. What would you think it would do? I don't know. I guess wherever the mouse pointer is, right? So I'm going to move the mouse pointer. The mouse pointer's on the screen. I'm going to press the button. Let's see what happens. I don't know what happened. Did it take a screenshot? I sure didn't see it. Let's see if we can figure out where is screenshot here. Hang on. How do you normally take a screenshot in Chrome OS? It's I think it's somewhere here. They've actually got a little screenshot thing. Let's take a look. Screen capture. Well, this is what I expected to see, right? Like this. So I'll go ahead and capture. And you can't see it, but on another display for some reason, it says screenshot taken. You know what I'm going to do? To make it easier for you, I'm going to make the monitor, you're seeing the main screen. So give me a second. So that way you can see when these pop-ups actually appear. Display. My main, this is it. I want this one. Let me drag this underneath. And then this one, I want it to be the primary display. Okay, great. Oh, Kouga, that's a good idea. I'll try it in just a second. Let's just see what happens with screenshot, and then we'll try your idea. Fantastic. So, where's the screenshot? Uh-oh. Hang on. I lost track of my settings here. It's supposed to be. Okay, let's try it again. Okay, you see the screenshot. So screen capture. This is what I expected. So I can get this and I'll say capture. And then copy to clipboard. Okay. I guess. I actually do like this feature. And I guess I can save it if I want to. But we copy it. That's fine. But that didn't happen, right? When I pressed my tablet. Well, I'll press the button again. Oh, now it happens. So I guess I have to be out of that settings menu for this. So that's good. But still, the point stands that to get back to this Huion, how do you do it? Let's get this UI here. Can you type in Huion? No. You have to type in devices. And somewhere here, or on device, under pen tablet, then you can find the Huion tablet, right? So we can map buttons, but we can't do much, right? Like, and what else are we missing? We can't say, oh, for Clip Studio Paint, make the button do this, and for Krita make the button. It doesn't happen. Okay. What about the dials? Well, there's no dials here. I'm spinning. It doesn't do anything if I go here and I say, right? And there's a clickable button in the dial that doesn't register. So dials don't work. And again, is the problem Google or Huion? I don't know. I just don't know. And then let's try customize pen buttons. Okay, so it doesn't know what buttons I have on the pen. This is a PW600, PW600. It has 3 buttons. I'm gonna press each one from low to high. Lower, so call other button 1, second button. Doesn't register the second button. Only the first button. What about the third button? Nope. So there's another problem we discovered. I only got one of the 3 buttons, and what can I do with the button? Same things I could do with, right? So this is very limited what you can do with Chrome OS here. Okay. Now let's try Kauga's suggestion here. Let me try changing the primary display to pen display, to the Huion tablet, and see if that changes anything. Now you're not gonna be able to see it quite as easily, so I'll have to figure that out in a second. So I'm going to Canvas 13. Here, notice they have the right name here, or half of the right name. It says Canvas 13. It doesn't say Gen 3. So you see, there's like problems in the naming. It says extended. I'm gonna make this the primary display. Okay. And you can't see it correctly now. So let's see if you can zoom out a little bit. I may have to adjust the brightness. It's just a little too overexposed. Okay. So will that change how the cursor works? Well, it's right here. Now I'm going to touch another monitor. I'm going to touch the one above it. And does the cursor come back? No. So unfortunately, changing which is the primary doesn't seem to have much of an effect, right? It's a good suggestion though, Koga. That was a really good suggestion. So even though I like this tablet, would I recommend it with a Chromebook? No. You'll be frustrated. You'll be frustrated, right? Let's see. Nick is asking a question. What do you think on the raised price of the Wacom Moving Pad Pro 14? Still worth it, or Samsung's better now? Well, on the plus side, I don't know. Well, the plus side is I heard Wacom might be introducing a new OS update for the Moving Pad Pro. On the minus side, how much did the price get increased to, Nick? I know it got increased. I just don't know what the price got increased to. Honestly, all things considered, I'd probably say people should slightly more strongly consider the Samsung, only because it's got a clear support policy for OS updates, and it is more compatible with apps, because the Wacom Moving Pad sort of has a special version of Android, so not all apps work with it, right? Like I think Tio mentioned some apps have a authentication, like that depend on, I don't know, whatever auth that Meta uses doesn't work. One, 1,100. Is that the new or the old price? Because I actually I can't even remember. I think the old price was like 900, right? So I think 1,100 must be the new price. It's not bad, but like, I don't know. So I guess ultimately where my head is at, it doesn't change it too much for me. I think it makes the case more strongly for the Samsung though. At 900, it was probably it was tolerable, some of the lack of OS updates. Okay, so that was, 100, 1,100 is the new. Okay, let's try drawing. I have a clip here somewhere. Okay. And let's just see if it actually works. So we're gonna do, it's in doodle mode here. Okay, whatever, come on. Okay, so look at this for a second. I don't know why, but it's, yeah, it's working fine. Right, pressure seems to be working. So I can't complain about this, honestly. The tracking is correct, but again, at the second I go to another monitor, the cursor's not there. So I have to, with my mouse or trackpad, move over here. It's a really dumb issue. And I'm sure there's probably some good reason they do it, but you can see how irritating it would be. Yeah, I think with the retailer, you're right. You should be able to find it at the old price. They probably have not updated every retail cost. In EU, around 1,300. Wow, that's quite a bit. So anyway, the point of this demonstration was, I think you're probably going to be irritated. You don't get pressure curves. You have to do it in the app, not in the driver. You can't do display toggle, right? And this was I mean, maybe you want to do that less with a pen display, but there's some weirdnesses. This is why if you're going to do it, specific device, specific Chrome OS version, specific app, you got to try them before you formulate an opinion. Let me go get a different pen display. We're going to try a Wacom and see if there's any difference at all in how it behaves. Okay? So, well, this is good. This actually worked. Let us do that. Okay, give me a second. I'll be right. Okay, I am back. I've got another tablet here. Wacom Moving. Not Moving Pad, Moving 13. So, we're going to unplug the canvas. Move it over here. Let's see what happens. Where's that darn slot? Okay, there we go. What happens? Will it work? Will it work any better? It said a weird message there. Hang on. Let me plug it back in and see if I can read the message. It says, okay, see the Wacom logo. Limited functionality due to insufficient power. Insufficient power? What? Okay, don't worry. If it wants power, I have a little charger here. I can give it a little additional power. It's gonna take a second though to disconnect the cable. Now it doesn't seem to have any problems, but I'm gonna go ahead and do this. Actually, okay, so I did connect another cable there. I'm gonna disconnect. I don't think it's having any problems, to be honest. Okay. Let's see. For portable drawing, honestly, I think a Samsung Galaxy Tab that works with an S Pen is probably an S series tab will work great. Should I buy PTK 440 or a 4100? That's a tough one. Let me ask a question. If you lost the pen and then you realized get the replacement pen was $100, how would you feel? Because that's what you're in for with the PTK 440. The cheapest. That's the Pro Pen 2. Can I just install an older version of Wacom? Oops, sorry. Got my face. Can I just install an older version of Wacom drivers? Yeah, you can do that. You can do that. Yeah, the insufficient power, I don't know. I think you're right for real. I think it's just, I didn't see a change in brightness, but that's probably the only real limitation that's happening. And it doesn't bother me. So let's see what happens here. First of all, does the pointer situation get any better? No. Pointer is exactly the same behavior. It's off on another monitor. It is moving the pointer. Actually, let me double check that. Actually, you know what? Something's messed up here. Okay, this is a different behavior now. Hang on, let me see if I can show it to you. There's no touch. Actually, will touch work? I don't even know. Okay, for some reason, the pointer now is always stuck on the Chromebook. Okay, it's just stuck there. No matter what I do, if I move the mouse somewhere else, it'll go right back to the Chromebook. So that's weird, okay? That is just weird. And there's no pointer. You understand? The second I touch it here, it is moving the point. I can tell because I can draw. But there's no pointer shape anywhere. So the pointer has disappeared. So it's hard to tell where I'm pointing at. Okay? So it's a mess. And this is the Wacom device. And it had, you see the problem. Okay, let's try touch. Now Wacom, let's see, let's enable touch in the hardware. Does that mean touch works now? Hey, guess what? Is touch working? It is. You know what it's doing? It's bringing up a menu on the Chromebook. Here, you can't see it, so it sounds absolutely ludicrous what I'm saying. Watch. Here, let me bring it a little closer here. Watch what's going on here. Okay. I'm touching the button here. You see what's going on? That maybe the pointer is the French we work. So this is another again, there's a messed up problem here with Chromebooks. It's all, in this case, I don't know why, the Wacom device is sending all its mouse and pen input, touch input, to the native Chromebook. Why is it doing that? I don't know. I have no clue why it's doing that. Okay. So would I recommend this? No, obviously I would not recommend this. Right? Cool. Next thing we try is make the primary display of the Wacom. Okay, let's try doing that. And my mapping of displays is completely screwed up here, so I'm gonna have to actually use my hands to do all this. Okay, which one is the? I hate that does this. Okay, sorry, lots of rearranging here. Okay, so let's make the Wacom the primary display. Okay, does the pointer work? Well, the pointer's just still gone. Is it actually clicking on things? Nope. What happens if I click on? So that's not helping. What about touch? Does it fix touch? Nope. So it's a good idea, Koga. Very good idea, but it's a mess. It's a mess. This is not working. So would I recommend a Wacom device? The Moving 13 with this? Doesn't work well. Wouldn't recommend it. Okay, I know the brightness is a bit weird. Let me see if I can fix that. Give me a minute. Display Labyrinth Lumia, it says. It is like that. It does feel that way right now. Okay, let me get to my, what was it? Is it an OBS bot? Yeah, I think it is. I'm just gonna fix the brightness so it doesn't look as insane. There, that should be a little. I'll change the ISO as well. There we go. So not as bright, but now you see how it's less insane. See, this is silly. So I would not recommend getting a Movink 30. I love the Movink, but using with a Chromebook, no, not working. Not working well at all. Okay. Next, we're going to try Wacom One. A Wacom One pen display. We'll try some pen tablets too, so don't worry about that. Okay, give me a second. Okay, this is the Wacom One 13 Touch DTH134. Let me fix the label here. Okay. So, will it work? Well, we're gonna see, right? We're gonna see. You know what? I think I can add on this light here. It'll make it look a little less insane. There we go. There we go. Shouldn't affect me too much, but it'll make this thing look a little easier to deal with. Okay. So, will this work? Let's see. Oh, plug it in up here. Well, at least it turned on, hey? Where's the pointer? Where's the pointer? Guess what? It's mapped back here. I don't know. Maybe there's something just weird going on. You know what? I'm gonna go reboot this Chromebook, and let me just see if that makes any difference. Who knows? Who knows? Maybe that's the secret to this, right? You just gotta reboot these things. Let's just restart and see what happens. Because we want to make sure it's not, something didn't change that's causing this problem. Wow. I was like folding my arms waiting for this long reboot process to happen, thinking I was on Windows, but it actually happened in about 1 or 2 seconds. That's kind of wild. Okay, the reboot's done. We're logged back in. Wow, why does Windows take so long to come back? I don't know. Okay, fresh system. Where's the pointer? Does anyone see a pointer here? I don't see one. Right? It's a mess. And you know what? Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe let's try the Canvas 13 Gen 3. I could have sworn I saw. Maybe I misunderstood what was going on here. Let's try it again. No, I did document this. There's actually just no pointer. That's right. The clicking is not. Oh, sorry. I need the right pen, don't I? Look at this. I get a pointer. You see it? Huion gives me a pointer, right? And the clicking goes. The clicking isn't always forced to the Chromebook, right? You see the pointer, right? So it's not me. I'm not making this up. This is a real weird problem. So this is another reason I say I'm going to plug the Wacom 113 Touch back in, and we're going to try. This is the DTH134. For real, I think you have a good suggestion. Let's do that. Now, I like your suggestion. I'm going to try to disable all the displays. Let me get to the display. Okay, now can you disable the display? Well, that's the first problem. You can't disable a display. Okay, you can't. You can extend them, but you can't turn off a display in Chrome OS. It'll just use every display you have connected. So that's another weird little problem in Chrome OS, right? Oh, this is interesting. Actually, okay, before I do that, there's an option here called Map Your Touchscreen. It says set up and map your touchscreen device to the correct display. So, well, this is a touchscreen device. So, is it doing anything? I think it's a hardware button here. Okay, touch is working. Do you see that? But touch is going somewhere. But over here, there's a device called Map Your Touchscreen. It says calibrate your touchscreen. Oh God, you can't see this so clearly. So let me show you what's going on. Maybe this is how to fix it. There's this. Can I zoom in out? I can't zoom out more. That says calibrate your touchscreen. That's not a real touchscreen display. So it says, if there's not a touchscreen display, press escape. Escape. Now it's here. Okay, so calibrate your touchscreen. Sure. Tap. Oh, you can't see it. Sorry. And tap. Okay. And then it's asking for another display. Okay. Now, does touch go to the right place? Nope. But now it does. Okay. Now, does the pointer go in the right place? Nope. You see what's happening? The pointer is moving something. The pointer is still invisible, but it's moving over here. The touch is now in the correct place. You see the problems? This is a mess. This is a real mess. Right? Why do we get a mess like this? And the reason is simple. Whoever deals with pen input for this device, and I don't mean this as a criticism, I'm just pointing out what I guess is probably true. They don't consider using drawing tablets to be a mainline scenario. So they probably don't even test it, or if they do test it, they probably just make it work in a very simple case, like maybe they only test with one Wacom or something. But we can see it's pretty easy to get into weird, it doesn't work across brands. We get all sorts of weird behaviors because they're not really trying to make this work. It's pretty obvious, right? So if you know someone from Google, just let them know it does not work well. This is my fear about the new Google books they're talking about, that they'll just continue this set of problems. Android is no better, by the way. Android it has the same set of problems, or very related set of problems. Okay, so Wacom 113 Touch does not work. And we'll try one more pen display. Okay, give me a second. Actually, I switched tactics. I'm going to pen tablets because I don't think we're going to learn anything with another pen display. So you see, I just don't recommend Chromebooks and trying tablet pen displays. Let's try pen tablets. Maybe it'll be a little easier. I've got the PTK 870 Wacom Intuos Pro Large. Is it going to be any better? Well, we'll see. In my testing, I found pen tablets from Wacom to work pretty well. Okay. Man, I'm feeling a little dizzy. Let's just see. This pen will actually work on this device. Oh, look at this. This is wild. What do you notice? It's actually working. And that I have a pointer and it's moving. Can I change which display it's going to? Well, if I move it to this, I'm here now. Will it move there? Yep. So it's that same original problem we have. Where the pointer is depends on where you're last touched. Okay. Yeah, LumiArt, that's what I would say. Do not, well, don't, you can buy a Chromebook as an artist, but don't expect to attach your drawing tablet to it and make it work well. It's just probably not going to work well, right? Kawuga asks, do you own a Wacom 1 TTC 133? Did Google search and that's supposed to be supported on Chrome OS? I've got one right next to me, Kawuga. I just I don't know where the 3-in-1 cable is, so I have to find it. But the problem is, okay, this is one of my long-standing issues. The word support is a weird word to use because it implies a lot of things. And it definitely doesn't work the way it works on Windows or Mac OS. And so that's the problem, right? You get all sorts of problems. I believe probably if you have 2 displays, maybe it works. I don't know. We'll try 2 displays to see if it makes a difference. But when you have 3, I'm sure it does not work, right? So where was I at? Here is it possible to go to Linux on Chromebook? I don't know. I've not tried. This is working. I do believe there's probably a little bit of distortion, and we'll try a PTH 660. Give me a second. I'll be right back. Yeah, Koga, I think you're right. The supported means probably just going to work the same as the Canvas 13. Okay, so this is the PTH 660 Wacom Intuos Pro Medium from 2017. I'm going to plug it in. Let's see what happens. Where's that port? I can barely see it. Okay, port is there. It's going to be the same. Guaranteed, it's going to be the same thing. Oh, wrong. I need a different pen for this. Give me a second. Okay, I have the right pen. And same problem. Same problem. It works, and it's but the pointer's going to be wherever I last touch, right? So if I move the pointer to this monitor here, can you see it? I'm not sure if you can see it. Yeah, there, you should be able to see it right there. See? Moving it, you only point to it. There's a mouse pointer right there. And then if I touch here, oops, I didn't touch. Thanks. Oh, let me escape here. Oh, now it's not moving when I touch. Oh, this is so confusing. So if I touch it with a mouse, if I use the mouse to change the pointer position, then it goes. But touching won't do it for some strange reason. So again, it's a mess. And if I open up Clip, oh, where is Clip Studio here? Hello, Clip Studio. We'll go into doodle mode. I'm so happy they have doodle mode, honestly, because it just makes it easier for me to test things out. Continue in doodle mode. I can tell right now that this is distorted. So I'm gonna try to draw a circle. I don't know, maybe it's not distorted. Let me double check. It might not be. I think it is though. I think this is distorted. This is not a this is more like 16 by 10 than 16 by 9. Or it's something. And I think there's a slight distortion. Right. Let's see. There's a comment here from Mitesh. I found stream regarding the content I'm interested in. Well, that's what we tried to do here. So it's not, if it is distorted, it's not that bad, but I think it is slightly distorted. My circles are coming in, I think, slightly more oval, like squashed than I'd guess. So where I recommend, still I wouldn't recommend this because it's so, well, Kuga, we should separate two things. The mapping is to the right place, but the aspect ratio stuff is not happening, right? So yeah, I think the distortion is very small, but I do feel it. It feels weird. Like it's just going a little more, so I'm expecting to draw a circle, it's going a little more oval than I expect. Some people, I think you'd notice it, but you may not, if you didn't know, you wouldn't be able to articulate why it feels weird. Okay, so where are we left here? And I think the answer is, look, Chromebooks don't work well with drawing tablets, right? It doesn't matter if I have one display or three or whatever. They just don't work well. The pointer's in the wrong place. Sometimes you don't get the pointer. Sometimes you get distorted strokes. If your tablet supports touch, the touch is sometimes going to the wrong place. It's a mess. It's a complete mess. So I would not recommend you do this until you get certain tablets. Okay, and even then, if they do work, they probably work better if it's just the Chromebook and the tablet. If you have an external monitor, there are probably going to be problems. Okay, so it's not all negative. It's not everything is going to be as bad as what we saw here today, but in a lot of cases where you want to use it, you're going to find difficulties. You're asking about pen tablets, and are you asking how they work? Like, what's the technology, or which tablet to look at? If you're asking which tablet to look at, I have a page of recommendations for pen tablets and for other tablets. But if you're asking how they work, I have a different explanation for that. Just let me know. So yeah, this is kind of a mess. I'm gonna try one more tablet, which is a Huion HS611. Older tablet, but actually, oh, sorry, I don't have the pen with me. What else can I do? Do I have any other tablets around me we can test? Or that we should test? No, I think that's it. I think we've proved our point. It just doesn't work well with Android. With Chrome OS. Android is no better, honestly. Probably with certain Wacom tablets, with you don't have any external monitors, that probably works okay with the Chromebook, but pen displays, I haven't found that they work well. It's a shame because I really do want them to work well. I'd like to use my Chromebook as my art device, but it just doesn't do that. Okay. Okay, I see what you're asking. Let me move this tablet out of the way. Since I think I'm done with the Chrome OS topic, we'll do some other news items. Just let me clean my desk up a little bit. Okay. And where did that mouse go? Here we go. Okay, so I think your first question is which devices and how differently on phone and PC. So they work the best on PC, meaning Windows or Mac OS. Let's just be clear about that. And that's what Kouga is saying. On phone, it's just a complete disaster. Specific phones with specific Android versions, with specific tablets and specific apps, they might work. But honestly, you should find someone that has that exact combination you want before relying on a phone to do it. I have a link actually in my documentation on, let's see, I think it's called using mobile devices or phones. Yeah, I'm gonna paste the link in the chat. Actually, that's not a good. Let me link to the Android page, which I think will work much better for your topic. Android. Yeah. Let's find it. I think this should help. But just to get to the end state of all this, it will just work 10 times better on a PC. I would not recommend you try using a drawing tablet with a phone. Not Android, not iPhone. They just don't work well. They just don't work well. I mean, can they somewhat work? Maybe, yeah, depending on the specific combination of app and OS version and tablet. But in general, they just don't. And that's why I just don't recommend them. Does the PC have to be, how old is it? What's the specs? And what kind of artwork do you want to do? That will help us. Okay, where's my water? Let's see. I think we know that. That'll help. You don't have to spend a lot of money if you want to use a drawing tablet. I was talking on our Discord, and someone on Reddit was asking what mini PC would work with an with a drawing tablet. And I said I use a $700 mini PC with 32 gigabytes of RAM and 1 terabyte SSD, and it's like $700 is pretty cheap. Okay, for real, would you recommend a new Wacom? A new Moving 13 or the used Cintiq Pro? Look, okay, fantastic question. Let's just assume it's not a money issue. The Cintiq Pro 16 from 2021 is pretty good. Okay, it is good. It's got a better, It's got touch. Now, I think most people don't think the touch works great on any tablet, but it is 16 inches, and that is saying something. And I don't know what the price is right now. Oh, that should be fine. If you've got 16 gigabytes, that's fine. That's fine. Yeah, I think you don't have any problems there. Especially if you're doing 2D art. If you're doing 3D stuff, maybe you need at least 32 gigabytes of RAM. Windows 10 is fine. Lots of people still use Windows 10. Lots. Sorry, the question was yeah. Is it worth the additional money to get it? Probably. It's hard. Well, maybe. It's hard to say. I do think overall the Cintiq Pro is probably the one I would personally go for. Let's see what price we're getting for Cintiq Pro. It's probably still expensive. Wacom tablets don't really go down in price very much, even if they're 6 or 7 years old. Cintiq Pro 16. Looking on Amazon right now. Cintiq Pro 16. I used to think it was really expensive at, I think it was like $1,200. And then they introduced the Cintiq Pro 17 for like $2,000. I thought, oh, suddenly $1,200 doesn't seem as bad. I can't find the Cintiq Pro cost. Let me try on Wacom's site. Do they even still sell it, Cintiq? Actually, let's try B&H Photo. Let's see what they say. Cintiq Pro 16. From 2021. I can't, it looks like they're out of stock everywhere, so I'm gonna try eBay. But the size is a big deal. Let's not diminish the size. 16 definitely feels better than a 13. I'm having trouble seeing that generation on eBay. Oh, here. Oh, 1,200. Okay, well, that's a eBay refurbished one. I think, but overall, I do think 16 works. Again, if it's 2D art, I think it'll work fine for you. I say that because I use extensively a 16 gigabyte RAM PC or laptop for a while. I even used a couple years ago. I was using an 8 gigabyte laptop for like simple line art, and it worked fine with Clip Studio Paint. But I think 16 now is the minimum you'd want to get. The minimum. Okay, I need to take a bio break. I'll be right back. Let me get stream back. Right back. Okay, I am back. Whew. Yeah, I have to tell you, I'm feeling a bit lightheaded. I think my blood pressure medication is really working. It's reduced it. I'm wondering if it's getting it a little too low because I'm feeling like a bit lightheaded when I suddenly stand up. I think is that syncope? Is that what that word is? I'll measure my blood pressure. Syncope. Syncope is the medical term for fainting. It's characterized by temporary loss. Well, okay, I'm not there. Common symptoms: lightheaded, dizziness, tunnel vision, blacking out, cold, clammy skin. That's not me. Orthostatic syncope, caused by sudden blood pressure drop when changing positions, such as standing up too quickly or sitting blind. Interesting. Well, okay. So there you know. I don't know. Or maybe I'm just dehydrated. I think that's also happening. Okay. Do we have anything else to talk about? I think we're good with the Chromebook topic. While I'm here, let me take a look and see if there's any other topics that I'm going to be doing soon, or you have suggestions for. Give me a second. What do we have? Honestly, Kawuga, I can't remember. I think I only tried some basic things, so I can't say I had a really good or bad things. I recall things working, but the problem is when we talk about drawing tablets, there are just so many things you have to account for, like multiple monitors, changing the monitor display toggle, and things are confusing. I'll tell you one thing that confuses me. So Linux has some built-in support for tablet drivers, and there's some built-in UI, which I suppose most Linux distros have. Some drawing tablets have their own drivers, not all. So it's confusing. And then I don't know if those drivers give you all the features that Windows and Mac OS do. If Chrome OS is not good OS for drawing, then will installing Linux work? Yeah, Wacom works out of the box on Linux, but I don't know about the other ones or how well they work. Again, as we've discovered, just when you say something supports a drawing tablet, it means a lot, right? But I believe sometimes people say supports like, oh, I got it to work in the most basic way possible. I can't promise that they work in the most complex ways possible. And I think that for that, I'm not the best person to know, because I just don't, even though I use Linux, I don't use it to the extent with a drawing tablet. So, okay. Let's see if I have some. Yeah, I have a few updates. Number one was, so I've had my Wacom Cintiq Pro 32 now for 2 weeks, I think. I'm really liking it. It is big. I have an entire desk, an entire room devoted to it. So I didn't think I'd like it as much as I do, honestly. I'll tell you a couple of things I noticed. Number one, you really need to have like a toolbox or something, so you don't have to reach for the keyboard, because reaching for the keyboard is like reaching very far away, okay? Number two, I'm really happy it came with legs, because it provides some nice drawing angle. I think I would like a slightly taller drawing angle, so I'm going to see if I can find a stand for it. Number three, and I think this, I intellectually knew this, but it didn't really dawn on me until I used it. So you know there's a thing called parallax, okay, which is basically means the angle you're looking at the tip of the pen with your eye. That angle will make you think that the pointer is misaligned a little bit. But it's just like a optical effect. It's not really misaligned. Well, the thing is that when you have, so let's suppose you have a screen this big, right? It's like, I don't know, 6 inches from my eyes. There's almost, the amount that parallax can cause a distortion is very little because you're not really going at any weird angles, right? Maybe like here's 0 degrees, you're doing, I don't know, 15, 20 degrees. But when there's a massive screen in front of you, the angle goes from 0 to like 50 degrees. And that tablet is big, so you will end up seeing more parallax, not because it's bad at parallax, but you're effectively doing, let me try to show it to you. Effectively, you are looking at it at an angle like this, right? When you look over here, it's almost like you're looking at this tablet like this. So that's a little weird. Also, because you're looking at the glass at extreme angles, it can, you might see some dimming. That's pretty natural for IPS displays. But I like it. I did my first major artwork with the Wacom Cintiq Pro 32 on the weekend. It feels really nice to draw. I really did not expect me to say that. I thought I would hate the size. I don't hate the size at all. When you have Clip Studio Paint Up with its palettes on the right and left, it gives you a solid, like, I don't know, I'm making up the number, 22 inches of diagonal space almost to draw. That's kind of cool. That's kind of cool. And the screen is so big, the palettes essentially act like bezels, right? Because you're resting your hands on it. And it has big bezels. Pretty happy with it. Pretty happy with it. So I did want to give an update there. Let's see, anything else? No, I think that's it. I think that's it. Okay, I think we did our Chrome OS testing. I hope that was educational. I think I'm going to end the stream now. Koga, I didn't see the colors change. I just saw it get dimmer. Just a little dimmer. Again, it wasn't a big problem. It's not like I noticed it when I was normally using it. Like I didn't pay attention. But if I, was in as I'm trying to test it, I noticed it. So it's not something that really bothered me, right? Minimum size for a pen tab, anything that's, look, I think you should get a medium-sized pen tab. So at the smallest for a medium is like 10 inches diagonally. So Wacom and 2os Pro, medium, any medium tablet. But you got to measure because a large Huion and 2os, Huion, what's it called? Not Canvas, Inspiroi large, Inspiroi 2 large is like just slightly larger than a medium in 2os Pro. So don't pay attention to the names, pay attention to the actual sizes, calculate the diagonal width. You want 10, probably 11 inches would be perfect. That's a good medium size. Small pen tablets I don't recommend for drawing. Those are good maybe as a mouse replacement or maybe for photo editing, but for drawing, no, I don't recommend that. Okay, I'm gonna end the stream. Thanks everyone for joining. I'm gonna try to stream maybe one more time this week. And I'll try to get one more video out as well. Okay, everyone, thanks for your time and your feedback. And I hope this helped clarify some of the issues we see with Chrome OS and drawing tablets, right? Okay, I'll see you all soon. Okay, thanks again for joining me.